Good afternoon, Texoma. Thanks for joining us for News 12 at noon. I'm Rita Kotey. In a developing story, investigators in Baton Rouge are trying to determine what motivated a black former Marine sergeant from Missouri to open fire on police officers, killing 3 and wounding 3 others. The terror attack there is impacting the race for the White House. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both responded to the attack with vows to fight terrorism. Trump also canceled his plan to announce who will be his vice presidential running mate. As you can see, there's President Obama and the First Lady coming off of Air Force One. They have arrived again, headed to that service. We will be streaming that live at 12:40 on CBS, as well as on our website at KXII.com and the KXII app. So definitely be sure to stay tuned to hear the president's remarks on the shooting that took place in Dallas and his acknowledgement and encouragement for the families and the victims. And as you can see, they're coming off the plane. Looks a little bit windy, possibly a little warm out there too.
Yeah, they're looking at temperatures right now around 92 with those south winds gusting up to around 30 miles per hour.
A domestic disturbance became an hours-long standoff between an armed suspect and multiple agencies in Clarksville.
The team just got here. We've got the band from both schools that just arrived. We've got bounce houses and kick tosses and lots of food and a lot to do.
People all over the country are celebrating their love today, and people will spend a lot of money on family, friends, and their co-workers. My journey took me to the country of Ghana. I was there to honor a loved one who had passed away, and let me tell you, this trip is one I will never forget.
I have always been the type of person who loves to be around my family, but over the years it's been difficult to see my father's side of the family who lives in Ghana, West Africa. I set out on a visit to see them a few weeks ago, but I had a long trip ahead of me.
Hey guys, it is just about 10 o'clock at night and we are about to leave to get on this long flight, but I'm very excited about it still, just ready for a nap. So it's a lot of people here. This flight is going to be full. So, here we go.
And with that, I was off from Washington, D.C. on an over 5,000-mile, 12-hour journey to Accra, Ghana.
Well, guys, I finally made it.
At the airport, we were greeted by the children of Ghana and beautiful music from a local choir. Then it was off to the city. I was very excited that we finally made it to Ghana because I was there for a special reason. Last year, my Aunt Regina passed away after a tough battle with breast cancer. She was a brave fighter with a heart of gold.
She sings a lot. She likes shopping. She likes dressing.
My Aunt Grace says Regina was the type of person who knew just what to say to brighten up your day.
She talks a lot. She likes everybody. She was friendly.
Regina leaves behind a loving son and lots of friends and family who wanted to remember her for being kind-hearted and a joy to be around. It is the tradition in some African families to come together a year after someone has passed away for a special memorial service. To pay tribute to my aunt, our family loaded up in a bus and headed for the cemetery. We walked together to the site where my aunt is buried. There we sang songs, said prayers, and remembered a woman who had given so much of her time to make others feel loved and appreciated. In the African tradition, death is a sad time, but it's also a time of rejoicing that loved ones have transitioned from one life into the next. And so with that, it was time to celebrate. About 600 family and friends gathered for a big party to celebrate a woman who was typically the life of the party. There was dancing, music, and even an acrobatic performance to get the party going.
It was grand. Everything went on well. We left there like 12 a.m. in the morning.
As you can see, most of us wore the same material but different styles of dresses. What I learned from this is that one person can reach so many people in different ways and have a lasting effect on the lives they've touched.
After honoring the life of my aunt, I wanted to learn more about Africa's history. Coming up on First News, we'll talk more about how the slave trade played a very important role in Ghana's history. From West Africa, Rita Kotey.
And members of a state riot team were out in full force as members of the new Black Panther Party and the White Aryan Nation stormed the streets of downtown Paris.
Black power! Black power! White power! White power! White power!
For the third time, members of the Black Panther Party protested the release of the men once accused of dragging Brandon McClellan to death. saying they want his killer behind bars. Jailed for 8 months on charges of murder, Special Prosecutor Toby Shook recently dropped the charges against the two men, saying there was not enough evidence to try the case. And a truck driver recently claimed that he may have run over McClelland. But not everyone believes justice is being served.
You know, just to come and show my support for the people that want justice here in this community.
We don't have time to play. We want action. Now! Go home. We don't need y'all. Y'all need to get the hell out of here. Leave Paris. Leave Paris.
Some residents who claim to be members of the White Aryan Nation say they want the Black Panthers out of town because Ryan Crossley and Shannon Finley are innocent.
He shouldn't have been walking down the road. My best friend was hit in the middle of the road. Nobody prosecuted over that. Accidents happen, man. That's all I can tell y'all. They need to go home. They're out here protesting the Bama and stuff. Them boys ain't getting prosecuted. It's over with. They're already out of jail. I seen them the other day.
Other residents say they're disgusted with the display of racial tension in their city and want there to be peace among races.
This town is too racial, and it don't need to be that way. If I'm wrong, am I right? Their blood, your blood, my blood, we all the same thing. And we're going to all sing the same person upstairs.
Protesters say they do not want to lose focus on their goal, which is to push investigators to find McClelland's killer. They say they want Attorney General Eric Holder and President Barack Obama to know about McClelland's death and to continue the conversation about racism in America's judicial system.
These small towns are serious. It's things happening, and we want you to know. It's just like stuff that's happening over in Iran. It's stuff here happening here too, so give us attention also.
For years, the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian has been home to Native American culture, but now the Choctaws of Oklahoma are bringing a little bit of flair to Washington, D.C. It's a dance of celebration on the trip of a lifetime. For 4 days, the sights and sounds of the Choctaw Nation permeated the walls of the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian. From weaponry to pottery and their elegant regalia, the tribe is showcasing all that they are to let the world know that their culture is still alive and well.
The world at large still thinks of us as creatures of the past, that Indians are gone. It's very sad, but Indians are gone now. And there's no better proof that these are live, thriving cultures than to have Indian people from Indian country come here and show just how well they're doing.
Museum Director Kevin Gover says learning the history of American Indian life from a book can be beneficial, but seeing the culture live, breathe, and move in front of you makes it all more real.
If we just had the museum staff out here talking to people and saying, oh yes, there are still Indians, they don't believe us. But when they see Indian people here doing Indian things in a contemporary way, it sends a very powerful message.
Gover says after visiting tribes across the country, the Choctaw Nation was the first to agree to travel to the museum. Being invited to showcase their culture is an honor that Choctaw Nation Chief Greg Pyle holds dear.
Oh, this just makes us ecstatic. This is something that you never really dreamed of.
Nearly 1,500 visitors daily were on hand to make jewelry, weave baskets, and try their hand at playing the flute. Miss Senior Choctaw Nation, Christy McGuire's goal is to help people understand the importance of Choctaw life and the key role they play in our nation's history.
I'm excited that I can come and learn new things, meet new people, and be able to teach different people who've never experienced anything like this.
Pyle says he doesn't want this experience to be limited to his tribe because there are so many tribes across the country with powerful stories to tell and a rich history to share with all those who will listen.
It's been just a wonderful, wonderful experience, not only for a youth to come up here, for adults that put this on, but for the citizens that come to get to visit.
Coming up Wednesday, First News at 10, we'll talk about how singing, dancing, and a little bit of storytelling is giving those who visit the Smithsonian an extra glimpse into the Choctaw heritage. From Washington, D.C., Rita Kotey, First News.
That's the bottom line.